Have you heard of the summer viral makeup trend called latte makeup? It's a dewy, glowing, caramel-based, lit from within summer makeup look that I'm in love with. But here's the thing, if you have imperfect skin, like I do, you may need to tweak it a little bit. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sammy George, and I love to teach natural looking makeup to women like me who have imperfect skin. So if you're interested in learning more about latte makeup and how you can make it work for you using just your Seint One Compact Makeup, check out today's video. And as always, thanks for being here. Okay, ladies, I'm not usually somebody who follows makeup trends, but when I heard bronzy summer glowing makeup, I was like, okay, I need to check this out. So I found the makeup artist who created the look, and she was working with a specific brand, creating a specific aesthetic, and the majority of the models that she was working with had flawless skin. Like with latte makeup, they say you can do this without foundation. So then I started thinking, that is not gonna work for me. So I started playing with it and kind of tweaking it a little bit to see what I could do to get coverage on my redness and still keep that glowing lit from within look. And here's what I've come up with. I started my makeup routine today with some Glow sunscreen. It adds a little bit of luminosity to the skin, and it's perfect for Seint makeup because it is silicone free. So this is the only thing I have on my skin today, and I'm using it as a base for our makeup look. The next thing that I'm gonna do is actually tone the skin. So why would we tone the skin? So if you're somebody like me who has redness or discoloration, toning the skin just means that we're gonna add a little bit of warmth to it to make our distractions in general less noticeable because we're creating continuity in our skin tone. So I'm gonna grab a small fluffy brush and I'm gonna use Bella Bronzer and Honey Illuminator to tone my skin today, and I'm just gonna swirl them together. Now using Bella Bronzer and Honey Illuminator is gonna add additional glow to your skin, so this goes along with the glowing lit from within aesthetic that you get with latte makeup. So after we tone the skin, here's where I kind of go off on my own from the traditional latte makeup look. If you're somebody like me that has discoloration in the skin and it is bothersome to you, go to your color corrector. So all I'm doing is taking care of those areas of my skin where I have color concerns. I'm gonna use my finger to get into this sunspot and a little bit more under the eye, and then that same fluffy end to pick up a little bit of my mango and add it into the areas where I have acne scarring, discoloration on my chin, flip it back over, hit those broken capillaries, take care of the scar on my nose, and anywhere else that you might have color concerns. So you'll see we've added the luminosity to our skin, but on this side, we've toned down that redness that we see in the cheeks and the darkness that we have under the eyes, but we still have a really light hand of makeup. Now I'm gonna do the other side. Now that I've color corrected, I'm gonna use my main shade so that I get good longevity and continued coverage from my makeup throughout the day. Still going in with the fluffy brush, I'm just tapping into my main shade, and now I'm going to cover with these stippling motions anywhere that I put my color corrector and anywhere else that I would want coverage. I'm also gonna add my color corrector and my main shade to my eyelids so that I can get rid of that discoloration that I have on my eye. Today we're gonna create a caramel toned, smoky eye look, and I wanna make sure that my colors show true to tone. So I take care of the discoloration with my color corrector, and then I add my main shade to make sure that everything is matching. Now we're gonna start to recreate the latte makeup, and it starts with bronzer as contour. So I'm using the small end of a fluffy brush into my Bella Bronzer, staying away from bronzers that have a red tone. So if you're a Seint user and you use heat waves, you may wanna go towards Bella Bronzer or even suede lip liner if that's your preference. But with latte makeup, we're really sticking to caramel tones. So anything that has like an orange or a yellow base versus a red base. Now for me, as somebody who has a lot of redness in the scar on my nose, I'm not even gonna nose contour today because adding a bronzer over top of that scarring is really gonna emphasize the redness. But here's where they do add bronzer with the Latte Makeup Look. It's under the lip and on the Cupid's bow. So I'm actually gonna switch to a small, dense brush so it doesn't get totally out of hand. And we are going to add a little bit of bronzer. It's serving as contour to really pop out that lip. Bronzer as contour is done. And now we're gonna go in and use bronzer as bronzer. But here's my little trick for you. We're gonna mix our bronzer and our Glow Illuminator. So let me show you. So Glow Illuminator is a beautiful illuminator with that caramel undertone, which is the color that you're going for with Latte Makeup. And we are gonna use it really sheer on the skin just to add a little bit of additional glow to our Glow sunscreen, as well as the Honey Illuminator that we used to tone the skin, along with our Bella bronzer. So this is kind of our trio to get that glowing makeup look for this viral makeup trend. I'm gonna switch to the fluffy end of my blush and bronzer brush, and I'm gonna swirl together my bronzer and my Glow Illuminator. And now we're gonna go to the points that we would normally bronze the face, which is the high points where you would get kind of that summer sunburn, if you will, up the cheeks. You could go across the nose if you like, on the chin. And then I'm gonna bring mine down the neck so that I do have some kind of color continuity throughout. So I am going to add in a little bit of my main shade along the top of that line where I bronzed, just to make sure that this is kind of seamless, and I'll get a good blend and allow the focal point to really remain in the center of my face where my eyes are. Are we glowing? Are we bronzed enough? If not, you can always go in and add more. I think for me, this is pretty good. We're gonna move on to adding some blush, and I'm just gonna use Tropicana, so we're sticking kind of with that orange peach undertone, and I'm gonna go up that contour line to add in a little bit of that youthful pop of color. With the Latte Makeup Look, the next step is a nude lip. So I'm actually gonna take my suede lip liner and line my lips. I'm gonna go around the bottom of my lip line, but then I'm gonna also bring it in a little bit in the corners so that I can smudge it together with a neutral lip gloss to keep my lips looking nude, but still defined. And since we're going for a nude look, I'm just gonna add Homecoming. Kind of blending it together with our suede lip liner to keep our lip looking really nude. And then we still have that pop of bronzer, which is gonna help pop the lip out, but they do add some additional illumination. So I'm gonna go back to Honey Illuminator and pop out the Cupid's bow. So as somebody who does have mature skin, especially under the eyes, this is where my fine lines and wrinkles kind of end, and then they start again here with the crow's feet. So I'm just gonna pop this Honey Illuminator on the high point of my cheekbone, kind of in between, to get that additional glow that you're gonna see with the latte look. If you wanted to take your glow up another notch, you could add one of our powder illuminators like Georgia to the top of the cheekbone over where you added your Honey Illuminator. But for somebody like me, if I add that level of like illumination to my skin, it will strongly emphasize my fine lines and wrinkles. And I think I'm pretty glowing. I feel very caramel and bronzed. So before I move on to the eyes, I'm gonna take a look and say, is there anywhere else that I need additional coverage, anywhere that I need to reduce any of my discoloration, or are we good to go? So I think maybe just a little tap into my color corrector and my main shade here on this acne scar. I do feel like I still have a little bit of redness on my chin. Get a little more coverage there. And then I am gonna use my Perfector sponge. I'm gonna find an area where I did not add my illuminator and just make sure that I'm removing any excess product under the eyes to avoid creasing later. Do a little around the mouth. Is there anywhere that I need to blend? If I use this over areas that are pretty much bronzer and not highlight or contour, it'll start to pull that off. So I think we're good. Now we're gonna move on to the caramel bronzy eye look. So I did put my color corrector in my main shade down to make sure that I've neutralized those colors, and I'm gonna start with my brows. With Latte Makeup, you want a really natural looking brow. So I'm just gonna kind of shape mine into place with our brow wax. You need to activate your brow wax with either water or setting spray, and then I'm gonna move my spoolie around a little bit and shape my brows. If you're somebody who likes to fill in your brows, you could do that now. I would just recommend, if you're trying to recreate the look, to keep it as natural looking as possible. I'm back and I'm in a little bit closer so that you can actually see how we recreate the eye look for the Latte Makeup Look. We're going to use our Seint shades of Philly, Leo, and Bubba. So we're sticking with those neutral caramel undertone bronze. I'm gonna add a little bit of pop to the lid with Angel's Landing, and then we're gonna use a little bit of brown eyeliner and some mascara to recreate the look. Like everything else with the Latte Makeup, the eye look starts with bronzer. So I'm just gonna tap into my Bella bronzer, and I'm going to start to carve out the crease of my eye. So if you have a hooded eye or a deep set eye, you wanna make sure that you not only get that deepest shade into the crease itself, but up onto the base of the hood. So when you look forward, you're able to see the color, and it's not just hidden in your crease, but you've actually gotten it up onto the hood. And I'm gonna take a little bit, and they do wash it across the eye to start in general with a bronze base. Now, after you get it into the crease on the hood and onto the actual base of the eye, they're gonna take what's left over onto the brush and actually flick it outward. So we're gonna create that almond outward shape to the eye look. Now, it can be a little bit difficult to work with a cream on the eye when you're gonna put shadows, powder shadows over top of it. So I am gonna use a little bit of my Vanilla Dust setting powder to set that cream, and it will take a little bit of that glowing effect away from the bronzer, but I feel like it's a lot easier to work with the eye once you set the cream and you give yourself a good base that makes it easy to blend. I'm gonna grab the large end of a fluffy brush, and I'm just gonna tap into Leo and Bubba. I'm gonna get off the excess, and I'm gonna go back up into the crease and onto the base of the hood and work on carving out that eye with these caramel tones a little bit more. Put a little bit more on the brush and build up some depth to the eye by adding this to the outer corner of the eye. I'm gonna flick out as well, just a little bit. Now I'm gonna flip my brush over and go just into Bubba, and I'm gonna start to halo underneath the eye to add some dimension to the eye itself. Next, I'm gonna grab a more dense brush, and I'm gonna come into Philly. I'm gonna build up that outer corner. I'm gonna go a little bit into the crease and into the outer corner for depth. I'm gonna take what's left on that brush and smudge it underneath the outer third of the eye, kind of connecting the top and the bottom. Going back to my fluffy end, I'm just gonna make sure that everything is blended and none of our lines are harsh. Now you could definitely leave the eye look right there. You have a caramel colored bronzy eye look, but I'm gonna add a little bit of Angel's Landing, which is just this nice shimmer to the lid, and I'm gonna press that on just to the center to make the center of my eye pop. Okay, what do we think so far? So all that we have left to do on this side is to add our brown eyeliner, and the key is to use brown and not black. So I'm just gonna use an eye pencil from NYX, and I'm gonna go in and I'm going to add my eyeliner to the waterline. This is something I almost never do, but you're gonna see it in the look, so for the sake of recreating it, here we go. Now I'm gonna add it to the outer corner, and I am going to come and add it to the lash line on the top. Lastly, we're gonna take this and, like everything else, just flick out a little bit. So we're keeping this in the wearable, smoky eye look for those of us that maybe don't love like a super smoky eye, but something that's going to make the eyes pop quite a bit. I am grabbing my favorite mascara, 2 coats, and I'll be right back. Our eyes are done, so now all I'm gonna do is set my makeup and decrease the shine that I have in this T-zone area by coming into my Vanilla Dust setting powder and just tapping ever so lightly onto those areas where I want to reduce a little bit of the glow. This would be in the areas that I have large pores, a lot of fine lines and wrinkles, and am prone to getting a little bit more oily or sweaty throughout the day. Okay, you guys, that is my take on latte makeup for those of us that have imperfect skin. So I need to know in the comments below, are you gonna try this? Did you try it? Report back. Let me know, how did it work for your skin concerns? Were you able to kind of mitigate that redness or discoloration that bothers you? And are you loving the glow, the caramel colored eyeshadows, the dewy bronzy summer makeup? I need to know. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I can't wait to see you again next week.